Hello everyone. Welcome to day 10 of our 21-day journey together. My name is Prasad, and if you don't yet know me, I have been practicing meditation my whole life, and I'm coming to you from London. So today we have three special presenters. We have for you Eileen, Regina, and Carlo. Could we please introduce them to the panel? Hello, Eileen, Regina, Carlo. Could you please introduce yourselves?
Hello, my name's Regina. Thanks for the introduction. So I'll be giving a short presentation later. I live in Bristol, and as you can tell by my accent, most probably I'm not from there. I'm from the north, in Cheshire, near Manchester. And so it's a privilege to be here, to be able to share my experience a bit later. So please enjoy.
Yes,
Hello.
Eileen? Yeah.
Yes, hi there. Yes, I'm Eileen, and I live in the south of England, in Sussex, and I'm an artist. I've been doing Sahaja Yoga since 2006, so I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. And Carlo?
Good to meet you all. My name is Carla. I'm from Italy, and I've been practicing Sahaja Yoga since about almost 30 years now, and yes, I'm glad to be here with you tonight.
We're going to have a very special performance with him later, but I won't say too much. So before we begin, a quick reminder. If you would like a review of what we've covered, you can watch the recordings on the website. If you are new tonight and you haven't yet received your initial self-realization and you're wondering what's going on, you can raise your hand by pressing the reactions button in the drop-down menu, and you'll be taken to a separate room to receive your realization. Or you can wait till the end of the program and join a breakout room to ask any questions you might have. So yesterday we learnt how to clear the left channel using the element of fire. Could we have the slideshow for today? Thank you. Yeah. So today we will need a foot soak. Very good. Yes. I hope you all brought a foot soak because we'll need them. We'll need that. And we're going to be focusing on the topic, I am my own teacher. Yes, I am my own teacher. So that is coming from the void area. So you'll need your foot soaks because Eileen will guide us through a meditation using this. After that, we'll have a video of Shri Mataji. And then, as you already saw, we've invited a special guest, Carlo Jitsi, the maestro pianist, who will take us deeper into the meditation experience. After this, we will have Regina come on board, and she will share her personal experience with how strengthening the void helped her overcome addiction. All sessions are recorded. Sahaja Yoga is completely free. You just have to keep an open mind and enjoy. Over to you, Eileen.
Thank you, Brad. Yes. So basically, this evening, we're going to put our attention in our void area, which is this big green circle that you see, and it is just covering the whole of our tummy area. That is the void, which is also circling the solar plexus in the middle, where our Nabi chakra is. And so this is to do with our self-mastery. We also have in our hand, you'll see the round circle around the hand. That is the void area also indicated in our hands. And we also have it in other parts of our body, but the main thing is to know the fact that we have it here in the tummy area and our hand. And it's to do with the guru principle, our self-mastery. And basically, we are our own master, our own guru. So what we'll do is we're going to, first of all, raise our Kundalini and do our bandhan like we've done in previous programs. So we'll just start off by raising the Kundalini nicely and slowly, just putting our attention on each channel, tie the knot, and then repeat the process. So anyone who's coming for the first time, just follow and raise it the second time, for the second channel, and the third time we raise it again. Nicely, slowly, and bring it up to the top of our head and just tie the knot 3 times. Okay? So now we're going to do the bandhan with the right hand, just swooping the vibrations from the left side right round over our aura, around our auras to the right side. So we're basically doing this 7 times. So the second time round, we bring it right around to our right, bring it back to the left again. So this is to protect each and every chakra. 4, 5. So 6. Bring our attention on our chakras. And 7, the last one. So now what we're going to do is we've got our foot soak bowls in front of us. And I presume that you've already added the salt inside the water. So it is assimilating the ocean, basically. And we have our jug of water on the side, fresh water, just so that we can rinse our feet out when we're finished, okay? So we'll start by just vibrating the water with your right hand and just do it clockwise a few times, just to kind of improve the vibrations, make it feel good. And once that's done, we'll just put our feet in, both feet, into the salt water. So we just close our eyes and just take a few deep breaths to start off with. So we just breathe in slowly, hold the breath, and then breathe out. Hold the breath. Breathe in. Hold the breath. Breathe out. So just repeat this process a few times more. So now we can balance the left and right channels. And to start off with, like we did yesterday, just put the hand down to the ground, the right hand facing to the ground. First clear the left channel. We're asking Mother Kundalini to remove all the negativity from the left side, all lethargy, past thoughts that may be disturbing us. Just to absorb all those negativities into the Mother Earth. Mother Earth will take care of all of this. Just ask Mother Kundalini to purify our desire. So put your right hand back on your lap and take your left hand and lift your left arm up at an angle where your fingers, your hand will point up to the sky, and your right hand is placed on your lap facing upwards as if you're receiving something. So here we're clearing the right channel. And we ask the Mother Kundalini to just please absorb all the negativity from the right side, remove all the heat, all the tension, any excessive thoughts, and just release it into the ether element. So we just want to allow everything to be absorbed by ether. Mother Kundalini, please absorb all the negativity into the ether. Please give us pure action. So just put your left arm down. So we can also just raise our Kundalini with the right hand to balance the central channel, the channel to bring us into the present moment. So we just raise it nice and slowly, and just the hand, bring it over above the head, as if you're pouring water over the top of your head with your right hand. So repeat it again, just from the base, raise the Kundalini. So we're passing through each chakra. Just bring it straight above your head and place it on top of your head like that. Okay. So we now put our hand, right hand, just below our rib cage on the left side, just below the left rib cage. Just continue breathing deeply. Mother Kundalini, I am my own guru, my own master, and my own teacher. Please establish these qualities: self-mastery and self-discipline. And we just take our hand and circulate around our tummy area. Mother Kundalini, please take us out of the ocean of illusion, away from all the myths, and bring us into the realm of reality, a realm of the spirit. Bring us into grace and bliss. Please establish and let us be connected with the pure knowledge, to have the knowledge and the wisdom and the discrimination to know what to do that is correct. To have the honesty, truth. So let's just sit and meditate. The area called the void. Just keep our attention above our head while we meditate. Just relax, joy. Feel the gravity. So just slowly open our eyes. And take the jug of fresh water and just pour it on each foot just to clear away all the negative particles. And place it on the towel beneath you and just do the same. Pour the fresh water and just put your foot soaking bowl to the side and just dry your feet with a towel. So the experience, the element of the void is the water. Salt water as well as fire. But foot soaking is very powerful. So it helps clear everything away. So we can go to talk by Shri Mataji.
So one must know that there must be something more we have to know. I would put it this way, that in the West, whatever knowledge we have had about science or about other things is like the knowledge of the tree which is outside. Now, whatever Dr. Warren has told you is the knowledge of the roots. Now, supposing if the East has learnt this knowledge from you, has tried to understand this knowledge of science, of course, which is not very fruitful also, but doesn't matter. They have tried to learn this knowledge of science. Why not we try to learn the knowledge of the roots? The roots of the tree of life. Why should we not try to find out what are the roots which are to be nourished, which were neglected, and that's why we have problems. These are the roots within us, which are being described. And when these roots are understood, then only we will see that something more has to happen, that we have to feel those roots. We don't feel them on our central nervous system. We have no sensitivity at all within us. For example, now supposing a person is getting mad, he is not conscious of it, that he is getting mad. Or if he develops some disease, he doesn't become conscious of it till he gets some pain. But actually, these centers are the subtle energy centers which give energy to the plexuses and look after us very well. But how to enlighten these centers? That was the big problem. How to enlighten these centers so that we start feeling our roots. For that, God Almighty, who is our Father, who is very kind and gentle, in His all care has made this beautiful thing within us. And all of them are like the milestones of our evolution. These centers are to be enlightened. And when they are to be enlightened, something has to be done. For that, in the triangular bone here is placed the energy called the Kundalini. It's a Sanskrit word meaning the coils. It is in 3.5 coils for a particular mathematical reason. A mathematician can understand 3.5 is very important coefficient. 3.5 coils, it is placed there. And this has to be awakened like a primule in a seed to enlighten all these 6 centers and ultimately enter through this center, which is the 6th one in this order, because the 7th one lies down below the Kundalini. This is the important thing that has to happen to us to become the spirit that Christ has told us, that we have to become the spirit, that we are to be born again. It is again certifying ourselves that we are born again. You do not become. Let us accept one thing. We are not going to live with myths and dishonesty. If we are going to be honest with ourselves, it is beneficial to us. It is benevolent for us to be honest with ourselves and to realize that by giving ourselves certificates, we do not become anything. It's only a mental projection. Whether I call myself a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu makes no difference whatsoever. Whatever dress I wear or howsoever I comb my hair makes no difference to me at all. In all honesty, we have to perceive and see. To reach that absolute stage, this Kundalini has to rise. There's no other way out. And this is what is the Holy Ghost within us. This is the Holy Ghost. Is the reflection of the Holy Ghost, and Holy Ghost is the energy of God, which is love, which is His desire. His desire is the Holy Ghost and is reflected within us as the Kundalini. So the desire of God is that you should become the citizen of His kingdom, that you should enter into His kingdom and enjoy all the fruits of His blessings, understandingly, knowingly, on your central nervous system. This is His pure desire. And if that pure desire within us rises, then we see that all other desires were useless. And they are not pure either. Because we have some desires, say for example, we want to have a car, all right, have a car. They want to have a house, have a house. Never satisfied. In general, it is said that wants are not satiable. Because they are not wants, they are artificial wants. The real want, the real desire is this one. This energy of pure desire that says you have to unite with the divine, with the all-pervading power of God. That is our pure desire. And unless and until that desire is completed, you may do any kind of things, you may go to all kinds of things, try anything, you can never achieve it. Now, this is a living process because God is a living being. He is not empty words. He is not just something like a dead book. He is not. He is a living God. He is a living energy. And this is a living process. So it has to be spontaneous. It has to be spontaneous if it is living. For example, there's a seed and you want to sprout it. Can you order it? Can you mentally say, all right, it has now sprouted? Can you say that, all right, I'll read these mantras to you or Bible to you or do this? Will it rise? No, it won't. It's a living process. You have to place it in the Mother Earth. Spontaneously it will rise. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to imagine anything. It will rise. And that's what it is, that this Kundalini has to be awakened. In the same manner, in the living process. Now, many people are surprised that I don't charge any money. How can you charge money for love, first of all? And this love, which is so spontaneous, I don't do anything, I'm just standing before you. I'm doing nothing at all. But if that love is, say, flowing all over, and if you get this awakening because of my presence, I'm doing nothing, it's your own. Whatever is your own, this Kundalini is your own, your desire is your own, and if you achieve your realization, it's your own. What is there to charge for? To be honest, I don't do anything. There's no obligation at all. It's just a catalyst. Then you become the catalyst, then the third person becomes the catalyst. Everybody can become the catalyst, but one has to be honest and truthful. Otherwise, you cannot find truth. If you are living with myths, how can you find the truth? Now the modern Sahaja Yoga, what I call it, whatever the way I'm trying it, is a little different that people could have used before. Like they first wanted to clear chakras after chakras, everything, and then go through all kinds of penances and all that and rise the Kundalini. Because people needed this cleansing. Now, what I thought was the easiest method is somehow or other to raise the Kundalini. Somehow. Make it even a little glimpse of the light into people. Let the light coming in the lamp. Let the lamp be seen by the people themselves. When the Kundalini rises, you see, there's a flickering, say, of the light. You can see yourself what's wrong with you, which chakra is catching, where is the problem. And then it's very easy to correct.
Now let's keep this silence within us, this meditative state. Let's try to follow and to surrender to vibrations through the music. Now, let's close our meditation. Raise slowly our Kundalini again. And let's give ourselves abandon.
Thank you, Carlo Jitsi, for that beautiful music. Thank you so much. What a privilege and pleasure it is to be able to call upon such amazing artists. And he had such a short notice as well. So thank you again. So now I don't want to disturb the meditative mood, but we're going to have Regina. We're going to invite the presenters. Could we also ask Island to come forward? And we're just going to ask Regina. Hello, Regina.
Hi.
Could you please share your personal experience with how strengthening the void has helped you overcome your own personal battles with addiction and so on?
Yes, I thought I'd start with a little bit of background to put things into context. So this is, you normally have two lives, pre-Sahaja and after. So of course I'm talking about pre-Sahaja times. And can I just say the music tonight was exquisite, and the meditation, it's just been a really lovely evening, so it's hard to follow that actually, but I'll try my best. So it started off with me being in care. I was brought up in care. I'm from a little, well, I was born in Manchester, but a little village in Cheshire. And when I was 7, I was in a foster care home, and I was moved to my foster mum, and I'm one of 5, so I'm the youngest. And it was a very difficult time for me. I was quite left-sided in terms of Sahaja Yoga. It means I was more on the blue channel, which meant that all the chakras on the left were quite blocked. But I was also quite athletic, so I had this kind of other side, sort of right-sided as well. And I always seemed to have a block in terms of talking and being open. So if I was with people I didn't know, I would just go very quiet. And what happened was, as I was growing up with a very difficult circumstances, when I was about 18, I left home, and I didn't get on with my foster mum, and I joined a band. Just before I left home, I joined this band, and then I met the father of my children, so I moved out. And but unfortunately, I was then met with people that were taking drugs, and cannabis was one of them. And because I didn't fit in at home, and because my family were they sort of knew what they were doing, the rest of my siblings, and so they sort of seemed to excel materially and were quite more confident than I was. And so I felt like I was kind of separate as well from the rest of the family. And in this kind of not fitting in sort of feeling, I found drugs. And what happened was then I could fit in, because if I was taking this, I could fit in quite easily. So that was sort of the start of it, which then carried on for a number of years. And just before I got clean, I moved 200 miles nearly from Cheshire, from this little village in Cheshire to a village in Cornwall. And while I was there, I would say I started my seeking then, and I'd cut down on certain drugs, so I'd stopped a lot of the really difficult stuff, and I'd gone through withdrawals and things, but I was still dabbling with alcohol, and I was smoking cigarettes, and sometimes I would take pills. So imagine we're talking about this void today, and so these drugs and addictions affect the void. So and it took a lot of effort. You can imagine the effort I was putting in to come off things, and I was going in withdrawals, and I was then drinking to try and dampen the withdrawals down. So it was just a bit of a mess. And I'd always thought I would have to take something, even if not every day like I had done, but I wouldn't stop smoking. I always thought I'm a smoker, and I identified with being a smoker. And as time sort of passed, I really started to seek. And it started off with me trying a meditation. It wasn't this one. I didn't know about Sahaja Yoga. And it just became into my awareness that there were these other states of being and states of bliss. And I was thinking, oh, you can have these states without taking drugs. And so it really intrigued me. And so I practiced this meditation. After a couple of weeks of me practicing this meditation from a book, and it was related to breathing, it didn't work. I sort of gave up. And then after that, I had an experience in a dream where I come to realize now that at that time I received this self-realization, and it's hard to describe it into words, but it was like every cell in my body was alive, and there's a river of vibrations which we feel after the Kundalini is awakened, and it gets stronger and stronger as you continue to practice it. And what happened was this energy, this flow of vibrations like a river, flowed into my void area, and my whole body was dancing with these sensations, which was like pure ecstasy. It was any drugs I'd taken, if I'd have taken in one hit, would not have touched a speck of what I felt in this moment. And I was completely alive and awake and alert. So I wasn't sleepy or tired or over right-sided, which some drugs act on the subtle system in that way. So this was pure energy, and it was just beautiful. It was scintillating. It was dazzling. And I felt that afterwards. I woke up after this dream, and I could still feel my whole body had these sensations coursing through, and it was very powerful. And at this point, when I'm awake, I felt that something special has just happened. It is happening because I can still feel it. I'm awake now. So this isn't just a dream, it's more than a dream. And shortly after, I was led to an NA meeting. And so I met a friend who was going to NA, and he said that he was clean and sober, blah, blah. So I went along to an NA meeting, and I happened to meet a yogi there that was practicing Sahaja Yoga. And for some reason, I was drawn to her, and she became my mentor and helped me out of addiction, or helped me through some of the steps. And then she gave me my realization. And after a little while of practicing the meditation, I started to notice, like, so for a start, I hadn't relapsed. I hadn't gone back on alcohol or drugs. I was 4 months clean and sober when I got my realization. And when I say got it, I mean the second time when I was awake, when I wasn't aware that I was of what had happened in the dream. So I was practicing when all the information about Sahaja Yoga, foot soaking. I started to foot soak, and this salt water, especially the candle treatment for the left side, really helped me. And it was amazing, because for me, trying to overcome addiction was such a powerful influence, a negative influence, and such a habit that I didn't foresee that I could overcome it myself. And I kind of before had given into it and thought, I'm an addict and I'll probably stay an addict, or that I'd always have to have something. And I sort of, after the experience in the dream, I was led to the right people. All these coincidences started, these little miracles. And then I started to foot soak, and I was consciously aware now that I'm clearing out. And I still didn't know the full power of the Kundalini, because there wasn't anything like this then, because it was many years ago. I'm talking about 95. Back in 95, I was about 31, and 96, 32. And I then was practicing. And what I noticed was, after a little while, I gave up smoking, which I never thought I would do. I convinced myself I enjoyed smoking, which at the time I did, or thought I did. And of course, this void is all about the illusion. It's known as the sea of illusion, and we're trying to come out of that. And so I was still, with my conditioning, under the illusion of what I thought a cigarette would give me. And so a few days after I stopped smoking, after the 11th day, and I remember it very clearly, I decided I wanted a cigarette. I needed it. These cravings were there, so I hadn't overcome these cravings and this idea of what I thought cigarettes did. So I tried to smoke during this one day. So I convinced myself it was the right thing to do, that I was going to enjoy it in that sense. So I lit a cigarette, and it was just horrific. Imagine I'd been meditating for 4 months and foot soaking and using the candle. And it was only 11 days between my last cigarette and this day when I was trying to enjoy a cigarette. And each cigarette was absolutely, I cannot describe the horror of it. And it filled my entire being with this kind of pollution. And it was just horrific. And I kept thinking, because my my memory was saying, no, you can enjoy it. You just need to eat food or have a coffee with it or something. So I was trying these different things. And eventually I realized that I couldn't smoke. I physically, mentally, emotionally couldn't smoke, and I stopped, and I never looked back. And so that really showed me that this Kundalini is enlightening, gives you the light and the truth, the absolute truth about what is wrong and what is right, and you cannot deny it. So even though my mind mentally, it was like the battle of the illusion of smoking was there, actually in reality it was just, after Kundalini, it was just like awful. Couldn't do it. So it's like you become your own master. It's so true. You really and truly do become your master. And just through the techniques and practicing. And, it was giving up smoking. It was easy because I didn't crave for it, because the experience I had was awful. And of course, I never went back to drugs or alcohol. That's finished and gone. So I feel like when I started, I said, before pre-Sahaja and post, because I feel I've had 2 different lives really, in 2 completely different realms, which is truly miraculous. But the one thing I wanted to end on before I stop is that it takes a master to take us through the sea of illusion, and this is that is your guru principle, and part of the guru is your spirit, really, and that if we don't take to these imbalances too much in life, and we have this balance, then we can ascend and come out of this sea. Otherwise, things can pull you in, because it can be quite easy to go too left-sided, over-indulgent in things, or too right-sided, where we're too strict or trying to overpower others as well. So it's kind of having this discipline, but not being too strict and not being too lax, somewhere in the middle. And I'll stop there. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you so much, Regina. It's incredible to hear these kind of stories. I'm sure that what's an NA meeting? Just if someone doesn't know, I
Yeah,
don't know what an NA meeting is.
so it's called Narcotics Anonymous. So it's a meeting
Okay.
for people with drug problems.
Okay.
But there's lots of
And
different types out there now.
and you had this dream before you came into contact with Sahaja Yoga at all?
Yeah, the dream happened, and the dream itself is another story, but so I only touched lightly on the sensations that I had. But it started off with two angels that came and they whisked me away and high at thousands of miles a second. And when we reached a plateau, this river of cool vibrations. I know the vibrations now, but at the time I didn't, because I didn't know about Sahaja Yoga. But what it showed me was that if you're a seeker, you get your realization, and just through your desire. And although I was trying this breathing and I believed it, I at the time I thought perhaps I wasn't worthy of it because of addiction. But what it showed me was that like this power, this energy, this mother Kundalini knows who you are, and that she can guide you out of, and she will come for you. It doesn't matter what state you're in, because in my family, I was like the black sheep of the family. And my brother was a footballer. So you can imagine he was very kind of well known. And so you can imagine my family were like this. And I was kind of, a down and out sort of musician and kind of and an addict. So even with that and the low self-esteem that I had and carried for a long time in my early teens and 20s, didn't, the divine sort of felt like the divine still plucked me up, and yes,
Still recognized you.
Yeah. So I feel like that's important for people to know, that it's for everybody, and the divine sees your heart, and looks after you.
Wow, thank you so much. So let's move on to the topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the theme Restoring Childlike Innocence. So we'll be focusing on the Muladhara chakra. In Sanskrit, Muladhara means support of the root. So this is the chakra at the base of the subtle system, and its innate qualities are purity, innocence, joy, and wisdom. So you can come tomorrow, where you can practice for tomorrow's session by behaving like a child in the best sense of innocence and joy. Okay, and yes, resources. So please click on the website link for live sessions and recordings. Join a WhatsApp group if you haven't done so already. You'll get updates and daily messages about Sahaja Yoga. There's a link on the website and in the chat for that WhatsApp group. Now, in the chat, we've shared some links that are PDF handouts for today's session. I want to remind you that we'll be joining breakout rooms soon. And if you join a breakout room, you won't get the chance to click those links again. So please do so now. Mentorship program. So the mentorship program is going really well, and I want to emphasize again that it is different from the breakout rooms because it goes past the 21 days, and it will give you the opportunity to be matched one-to-one with a Sahaja Yogi, someone who can support you with meditations at home, whatever time is convenient for you, and they'll help deepen your knowledge of Sahaja Yoga and overall experience of meditation. So, breakout rooms. Again, I'd like to remind you to please raise your hand if it's your first time and you would like to receive the initial self-realization process. For everyone else, if you would like to join a breakout room, please press join when the pop-up menu comes up, and you'll be moved to a separate room to discuss your experience and ask any questions you may have. You can also type in the chat breakout room help if no one's inviting you to join a breakout room. And yes, so there's an example of how the pop-up menu will look. So you just press join and it will take you straight to that room. Could I invite the presenters back to the panel? This is the official end of the program. We'll just say our goodbyes. Thank you all so much. It's been a huge pleasure. We hope you've learned something, enjoyed the music and the experience. thank you from me. Good night. And thank you from the presenters. Maybe they'd like to quickly say their goodbyes and good nights.
Goodbye. Thank you very much for coming here this evening. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.
Yes, goodbye, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the evening tonight.
Yeah, me too. I've enjoyed a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.